Okay, it's that time again where we're going to analyze the clips from BadBoy, Beaman, Mutex, ZLaner, and put some actual time in and be impartial. ZLaner should not be taking the time out of his day to respond to every single clip in the world that somebody thinks is suspect. He should keep responding and responding and responding until you're happy. I'll tell you why he's doing that. He's doing that because obviously that's more interaction with ZLaner. And more interactions with ZLaner, when you see your figures gaining millions a month because you are now discussing cheaters, 1.5 million for the last 30 days, 100% increase, you're obviously going to keep doing it, and it makes sense. The problem is what he's doing is he's actually slandering people with a lack of evidence. Cronus on stock being installed, to the uninstalling, to the updates, to 5 cameras, to Spotify, to comparing him to an actual hacker and kind of inside the mind of a hacker and all of the dumb takes. And we came to the conclusion that there was no way these guys were cheating. This obviously got, for my channel, quite a lot of comments, and people were upset, writing big essays saying that he's definitely cheating, I'm a streaming simp and I'm just trying to get simp points off the big streamers. It's not true. So we debunked the myth about, I personally did not think that the updates were an issue. I know that the updates can change. I even mentioned it here. Updates can change a program. So here he is accusing, quote, 100% accusing 12 years IT experience that there's no way an update can change an install date. He set up a virtual machine. He installed Windows. He did all the updates and that Mutex did, and he installed the same programs. And he came to the conclusion that, oh, the updates have changed the install date. So Mutex hasn't been messing with the Cronus device. Yeah, he's clean. I actually respect this guy for going to the effort of setting up a virtual machine, doing all of this, installing the programs that the Mutex did, putting in the work and disproving it. The only thing I don't like is he was so concrete in his original statement of, he may learn from this situation and he may say, yeah, next time up, before I do a big statement like that, I'm going to do some research first. But that's kind of the problem. When people do the research, like say myself, and you sit down and you analyze the clips properly, it doesn't get as much views as a big hyped up title such as BadBoy Beaman. And I think it's kind of bad that someone like this has to defend themselves because of the nature of you're guilty until proved innocent these days. I can tell the way he plays that when anybody's ever played Counter-Strike, you sit a little bit closer to your desk. You might have your keyboard slightly vertical. I know he's playing on a controller, but you can kind of sit like this, right? That would be me looking to my radar. That is me looking to my radar on Warzone right now. And that looks quite a big tell, doesn't it? Now, if I look to my right monitor, that's a right monitor. So that's a radar glance. And if I was to look on my third monitor, if I had one, it would be that. So you can see that. So I'm playing the game, radar look, playing the game, shooting, left radar, check self-res, check radar. And if I was to look at a third monitor, it would be that. Be a very big movement. And for those that have streamed and for those that have done content creation, that when you are in TeamSpeak or Discord and you do a play and you do something cool, the first thing you do is you do check OBS and you do check Discord to kind of see if you're unmuted. You just do. It's something you do. If you're not a content creator, you won't understand. So what ZLaner goes on to show here of him looking at his left monitor versus actually looking at his radar, and as I've just shown with my head movements, that's exactly what he goes on to show. He also even debunks it further by going on to show that on a different game such as Apex Legends, when he goes and he looks at the left hand side of his screen where the loot is, he also does that glance. So is he also cheating in Apex Legends? Is that what you're also saying? ZLaner starts to call out, there are so many guys here, there are so many guys here, and you could only see basically 2 people. And his sort of hypothesis was, well, he must be glancing at his left monitor and seeing that everyone's in the area because he's cheating. And because he gave the premise of, I analyze all the clips fairly, I'm not out to witch hunt, I look at the things and taking all the information, I thought, oh, well, this is kind of interesting. And that's when I got involved in this. Now, what he misses out is, number one, and I don't know why he does this, maybe this is just to fool people, he puts the video in really, really bad quality. Like if you're to download his video off YouTube and then stream it yourself, you can get much better quality. It's like he intentionally makes the quality look as bad as humanly possible. And you'll notice here that there is a guy just slid here, there is a guy here, there is a guy here, and there might even be a guy here. But because of how bad the quality is, you can't really tell. And when he flies off into the street, you can see, are you ready? Just there, you see him? He's just there. Now, there are also other people. There's a buyback going on here. Now, I'm not too good at Warzone, so I'm not too sure how you can tell if somebody's bought back, but somebody knows that. Oh, look, you can see a car going. There's a car here, so there's another guy. What BadBoy Beaman took out of the clip is he took out this part, this crucial part, which is really deceptive. And I'll be honest, I don't like the idea of taking down videos, and I don't like the idea of shutting down channels. I myself have had videos taken down for being deceptive when they weren't, because of hate watchers. But BadBoy is actually being deceptive here. He is, because 2 seconds before this footage was played, he popped a UAV and he saw that everyone was on the map. And also, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10, and there's more ahead of him because of his radar. So he knows that the whole map is kind of in this area, because there's at least 10, 11, 12, it's probably about 20 odd people in this area, right? So when he dies and he wins his gulag and he comes back, there's about 61 people left. So if there's 20 plus people in this area, and he then starts to get shot by 1, 2, 3, 4, guy crossing the road, he knows that, God, they're all still here. So like any streamer, like any person playing video games, they might have exaggerated a little bit and gone, God, the whole map's here. The whole map's here. But if 2/3 of the map's probably around this area, then yeah, that's a big call, and that's true. So he completely debunks BadBoy Beaman's video entirely. The only thing BadBoy Beaman could say is, oh, well, is his controller being plugged into a hidden Cronus? But look, the guy ain't cheating, man. You can tell when somebody's caught in a web of lies, and you can tell when somebody is frustrated at being wrongly accused. You can just tell when he explains at the end that, listen, I will basically fly you to my location. You can sit, you can check my entire PC, you can come and watch me play a game. I am not cheating. You would not say that if you were cheating. You really wouldn't. Somebody that I thought at the beginning was out to expose people is actually, sadly, is doing a bit of clout chasing. And it's a shame, because I think a lot of his work was valid and decent. It's been undone by the fact that he's obviously seen that when he called out a streamer, rightly or wrongly, it got a ton of views, so now he's carried it on. There are professional players cheating, probably. There are regular players cheating. There are people that cheat in the Olympics. There are people that cheat at CSGO LAN. I'm sure there are cheaters, but not every single person is cheating. He's been shooting an unsilenced gun the whole game. He's full sprinting, right? He's full sprinting in here. He knows there's a guy in here. He breaks the door, so this guy knows he's coming, right? So he jumps, and then because he gets a tiny bit of damage, he says, that guy's cheating. He was pre-aiming me, snapped to my head. No, mate. You've just got no game sense. You've smashed the doors open. You've gone around it jumping like this, and he's just shot you because he's prepared for you. Basically, this is the next piece of evidence that BadBoy's coming out, that there's a 1-frame flick. So what happens here is Tfue is shooting this guy, and then he flicks like this. Now, actually, I didn't realize this when I saw the original clip. He's in a vehicle. Now, I can already tell he's still holding down his trigger, and he's either switched seats or he's exited seats, and that's why his view's kicked. So let's see what ZLaner says.
He's playing solos. He switched to a passenger seat and then instantly gets out of the vehicle. And if you guys don't know, when you get out of a vehicle, your aim just goes straight ahead. So he's from here, doesn't have to move his mouse at all, uses a strategy of getting out of the vehicle to aim straight at this guy and then start shooting this other one.
And there's also been some comments before people begin, his gameplay wasn't quite as good. Now, why do you think that is? There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. If you're telling your audience, listen, I'm about to prove in this next stream that I'm not cheating, you have to play well. Otherwise, people will say, oh, look, now that he's trying to prove he's not cheating and he's turned his hacks off, he's not playing well. Warzone is a super random game. There's a lot that can go on. He's playing solos by the looks of it, which is a super campy shitfest where anybody can play. He's also a popular streamer, so people could be stream sniping him. So Obviously, his level might drop a little bit, but he still plays bloody well during all of the game, and he's clearly not cheating. So if I was BadBoy Beaman, I'd put up an apology and say the following. I'd say, I didn't analyze the clips properly. In future, I'm only going to put up people that I know are cheating, and I'm going to do much more analysis. I really do apologize if I've put ZLaner through anything or any other people, and maybe then he can rebuild his channel. But the way YouTube works is probably BadBoy Beaman is going to be more popular than ever, and it will just spark more controversy. But those are my takes on the situation. BadBoy Beaman says he can't travel to Canada, and that ZLaner is once again lying and covering up, and that he's not addressing all of the clips, which is ridiculous because he shouldn't spend his entire life addressing every clip that someone finds suspect. There's now a new accusation that ZLaner is using a low field of view aimbot. After watching his video and seeing what a low field of view aimbot is, it's the following. You see this circle on your screen? This is the aim that is going to track and focus in and be the aimbot. Now, having done work on kind of analyzing screen difference and netcodes and having chats to developers themselves that make AAA games, you'll see here that I've done some videos looking at the netcode and having a look at the screen difference. There is screen difference in the game, etc. There's lag compensation, all of this stuff, client-side service. But there is also multiple types of aim assist. There is friction, which is as you sweep over a character. So as you imagine the crosshair sweeps over me, it slows down. There is adhesion, which is kind of how once you're on the character, you kind of are locked onto them and tracking. And then there is also magnetism. Magnetism can be like that snappy aim that's jumping to you, but it can also be such as bullet magnetism, which is say if a shot is by your head, it will get pulled in. Gears of War 5 had a problem with the aim assist was super tuned up high, the bullet magnetism was so high that people were missing their head and they could get headshots. Now, I'm not saying Warzone has that specific aim assist, but there's not just one type of aim assist. There's a lot of aim assist that goes into making a controller work, and we know that Warzone famously has very strong aim assist. So you factor in, if you're a really good player, you're on a PC, with all of the good FOV, all of the great settings, all of the high frame rates, and then you're also playing on controller with probably tuned aim assist settings, you're going to be flying. To demonstrate where he kind of messes up here is he's going on to say that this is a player with a low field of view aimbot, and you'll notice it's not jumping to him, it's not snapping to him, it's only once it's on him does it kind of track like that. You see how it's kind of tracking for him because it's on him? He's still having to move his crosshair, but it's kind of gluing to him. Now, he's trying to make the point that a streamer could have this turned off and you'd never know. And I guess he's right. If a streamer had this and it was turned off, if you're really good at aiming, you might not ever know. But the reality is, with thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of footage, he would have been caught by now. And I'm sure if you go through anybody's clips through the time, there are suspect clips because you play the game a lot, things happen, and he's a very, very good player. So here is a game from 2006, and it famously has very, very low aim assist, basically nothing, right? What you can do is when you get very, very good at a game, you can go ahead and you can just begin to predict where people are and you can sweep. Now, this game has literally like no aim assist, right? Like, I don't even play controller. I haven't played controller in 10 years, but I have that muscle memory of where people are going to be, how fast to swing my controller. And if I can sweep like this, right? If I can sweep like that on a fake Xbox 360 controller on a game that I haven't played in about 10 years, it's entirely possible that a game with massive aim assist like Call of Duty, that somebody plays daily at professional level, he can track very, very well. So we've seen that the low FOV aimbot isn't really snapping. It's kind of just sticking to him, but let's just hear what he has to say. So he drops in from Gulag.
There's a moment that's coming up, which to me looks just like a low field of view aimbot snapping onto an enemy. And keep in mind that when you...
But he's just told us that a low field of view aimbot wouldn't snap, and that's how he would hide it. If you've got your FOV of your aimbot set so small that it's not snapping because you're not the person isn't in that little reticule, then it wouldn't snap. So he's already kind of debunking himself here.
Toggle aimbot on or off, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to shoot. You could have it set to a foot pedal. You could have it set keybind to anything on a keyboard, mouse, anything.
You could have it set to anything, but the guy's already shown his setup. He's showed his entire setup that he doesn't have some sort of button to toggle. But this is the big point, all right? Are you ready for the big reveal? Now, what he does in these videos is when something, quote, suspect happens, he always does this. That's what happens.
On your controller.
Give my analysis, right? I'm going to give my analysis of what happened without hearing what he's got to say. He's dropped in from the gulag. He's got 2 plates. He's got a gun off the floor. This guy plays Call of Duty a ton. He probably knows how many bullets it's going to take to kill this guy from a certain range. Now, there is a block here that you can't quite see. There is a block here, an air vent. There is this building. Now, what do we all know about this building? That's anyone that's played Warzone a little bit. There are 2 sides to this wall. So, what you will see is the guy is here. Right, here we go. He comes out. Now, why did he wait? Why did he not shoot? Let's think about this. He could take the shot, but because the character is running away, ZLaner is thinking this guy's going to carry on running and go behind the wall. Right? So if he now shoots, he's probably not going to have enough time to kill him. The guy is then going to know where he is, and currently the guy doesn't know where he is, unless he's heard his parachute, which maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but currently he hasn't. He doesn't know where he is. He could also duck behind this air vent, or he could go behind this wall. So he's waiting to see his movement like a good player. He aims in, he's not on him, he hasn't snapped to him. Now what he does in any kind of aiming game is the following. You can aim, let's say this is your character like this is your character. You kind of have your gun is kind of like this, right? I know this is kind of how a third-person aimer works, but it looks like this. So you're aiming like this, right? With his gun. You also have the ability to move the character kind of left and right, like such. Now, if you move the character back as a strafe, and then you also go ahead and you move this left and right, you kind of aim, everyone does it in COD, you can kind of aim with your crosshair, and you can also aim with your body and shift your centering over. So what you will see is you'll watch, he aims in, he's not quite on him, and you will watch his character move to the right and his aimer move to the left. We'll just show that again, because it's quite hard to see, because it is such a fast clip. There, you see? Now he's trying to say that he's done some micro adjustment that is an aimbot. Well, if blooming rubbishy old me can flick somebody in a game from 2010, in a game from 2006 with no aim assist, I'm pretty sure a professional player can do a micro adjustment.
And it did, to me, look like a low field of view aimbot snapping onto the enemy. And we'll discuss it in detail as well. We will be putting it into 0.25 speed now.
Okay, so he's saying it's a low field of view aimbot that he's snapping. But those things are going to contradict each other. If he was using a low field of view aimbot in this game, then every time he's this far away from somebody in the quote low field of view aimbot snaps, it would be snapping to everyone in the lobby, and that's the problem.
He glides down.
You've got to think to yourself, think about this. Out of 6.5 hours footage, this is the thing he's found. If I was doing this and I thought somebody was cheating and I'd found evidence, you would have like 50, 60 examples from a single play session, and you'd be like, boom, 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 boom. Here are all the examples, I've got you.
Now, the weirdest part of that to me, it snaps to...
No, the weirdest part about all of this, mate, think about it. What is the weirdest part of all of this? Let's go to the actual footage from ZLaner's channel. What is the weirdest part of all this, guys? He dies. Now, BadBoy Beaman will say he's let himself die to prove that he's not cheating. It's just a cop-out answer. If he had an aimbot, a low field of view aimbot, here, which is this, it's only been a fraction of a second from when he was over here. Is that also an aimbot? Did he snap there? Why are we not analysing this part of the clip? So he slides, takes cover, and because he's a pro player and he's probably cracked the guy, I wasn't quite fully concentrating, kind of does a bit of an ego challenge, and he pops up. Snakes, if you know what snaking is in Call of Duty, is snakes. Now, if he had a low field of view aimbot, and he was really trying to prove he was a god gamer, would he have not snapped onto this guy and killed him? No, he doesn't. He dies. Search, and we've managed to find the video we were looking for. There's a technical aspect here that maybe people aren't picking up on. So, number one, BadBoy Beaman has been known to manipulate clips, which obviously makes your, shall we say, credibility go downhill, because if you've manipulated clips once, now when people point the finger of you manipulating clips, you're going to have yourself in a bad spot, aren't you? Now, here is where I'm fair and balanced, because I will defend BadBoy Beaman here. This guy goes through, and what he's doing is he's starting the clip at when the second of this clock here, 10 seconds, 0.5, ticks over, and he counts the amount of frames on his timeline, sequence settings depending. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames until it switches over a 1/10 of a second, right? And he notices something, so I'll play the clip.
All right, so there's something I really want you to pay attention to also. So you can kind of see as you go frame by frame, everything kind of moves as it should. All right, now.
And he realizes there are 2 frames missing out of the suspect clip. So you're going to say, seems a bit odd that the 2 frames are missing from the quote suspect clip. If he went and he downloaded this footage from ZLaner's actual channel and he compared the 2, he would find that both ZLaner's footage and BadBoy Beaman's both have the 2 frames missing. Now, why is that? So there's a technical issue, I believe, that's going on. You will notice here he has 2 PC stream and he has a capture card. Now, what do we know about ZLaner? ZLaner is a competitive player. He's going to be playing on a high refresh rate monitor. Surely he's going to be playing above 120 Hz. Now, a capture card is going to capture at 60 FPS. What does this mean? This means that if your monitor and your other monitors aren't set to be a divisible number, so say 120 FPS, like a nice half number, you're going to get screen tearing, which is why if you've noticed on some of his clips, they will notice that there is quite frequently a bit of screen tearing, and that is because the refresh rate is basically too high for the capture card, and it's not becoming a divisible number, which can mean that you get skipped frames, you get frame tearing, you get a lot of problems. And that is why there are frames missing, and that is why there is a lot of frame tearing and interpolation, or whatever you want to call it, poor smoothing, because, yeah, he's running at too high refresh rate. And why is he doing that? Because he cares entirely about maximum performance and pro play. Whereas if I was playing, I cap my monitor to be 120 Hz, so that the viewers get a nice looking at visual experience, because I'm bad at the game, so it may as well look nice for them. When you go through these clips, it's kind of irritating, I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very irritating that every single clip is in trash quality, because there's no need for it to be in trash quality. If you're recording from Facebook, you could shadow play your screen. If it's off YouTube, you can download in good quality. Everything's in super shit quality, just so he knows. And every clip, I just feel like, is just a regular kill. And remember, if you're a pro player that has thousands of hours in the game, like I was in Gears of War, you can do stuff that makes no sense. So let's take a look at that clip. Okay? Buys a UAV, pops it, sees 3 guys in that building. He sees a guy in the sort of top left of this building. So if he was to come in from an angle, it would be kind of on his bottom left. So he goes in here, sees him on the radar, he's still bottom left, begins to pre-aim, still sees him on the radar, begins to pre-aim, tracking. Now he shifts to look in front of him, He's aiming at like his lower leg, right? He's aiming at his lower leg, and then he begins to track his body. This is not suspect in any way. Now, if you analyze everything frame by frame by frame, you're going to go, oh, it snapped. These are people that can aim. And this game has a lot of aim, assist, adhesion, friction like we've spoke about. Are you telling me a professional player from this position could not kill that guy? Just ask yourself that. Could a professional player in this scenario not kill him? Does he have to be cheating to kill this guy? He's just putting up what, like a 1 second clip? He's hip firing, and then he holds his aimer in to focus in on him. What's suspect about that? Oh, I presume this is him saying that there's silent aim, that his crosshair isn't on him, therefore it's silent aim. What's happening in this clip, guys? There is a dude falling. There is a dude here shooting up with his gun. He's shooting him. Now, he's going to lead his bullets, so the parachute man falls into him. Here we go. He's leading his bullets because there is bullet velocity in the game and there is leading, and he kills him. But there we have it. Hopefully that wrapped up a few things. Gone ahead and edited the video and I'll be posting it. If you enjoyed the content and you want to see more of me, even though there's 3 on screen, if you want to see more than that, then hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Also, you got to ring the bell, because apparently if you don't ring the bell, it doesn't notify you even though you subscribe. And because I'm a small channel, it kind of just guesses what you think you might want to see. So if you want to see all my content, got to ring the bell. I guess that's why people say it. I guess this is the state of YouTube. So someone like this, that is literally has a channel showing you all of the hacks. It shows him going around in game, killing people with cheats, is now uploading a video thanking people for saying I'm partnered, and he's able to earn. You know, it's crazy that someone like me that's tried to be honest and open on YouTube for 11 years still has his AdSense fucking disabled from 2 misclicks in 2010 era from some fans. I can't earn and I can't be partnered, and you've got someone running cheats, slandering pros, celebrating the fact he's got partnered. Now here's the thing, he's going on to say that you can hide the cheat in your task manager, so showing the task manager doesn't mean anything. Are we really thinking that these pro players are running multiple programs to hide all of their cheats? Yeah, maybe someone is, maybe, but Mutex was a guy that literally had all of his banking information, had his ID verification, and had all of his passwords and shit on his desktop. You think someone like that is going to be that heavily involved in covering up that he's set up 5 webcams, he's made no mistakes, no one's sussed anything, and he's also running programs to hide the cheats? It's just ridiculous. Like, it's crazy that these people are getting this much attention. That is why they continue to do it. You know, it's why they continue to do it, because they're getting partnered. They are making money off accusing people and cheating in game. Look at him. Here he is in the game. This is his footage. He's going around playing Modern Warfare, killing people, completely ruining their game, cheating live, headshotting people, pushing people, spraying them through walls. This guy's allowed to have his AdSense. He's allowed to break terms of service. He's allowed to make money and be a partner. But, you know, someone like me that's trying to be honest, no, your AdSense is fucked, mate. But this guy, yeah, because he's getting views, because he's getting traction, Google and YouTube are just, oh, fuck it, sure, let his AdSense run. Pisses me off, man.